Tristan Leonis. I swear. If you don't get your behind out that gosh darn rock and do something! What's up, guys? I love Hunter here, and here we are to do a breakdown and review of chapter 121 of Four Nights of the... which is known as, if not you, then who? So, this chapter, it's very hype for one particular character. Actually, not. I'd say about half the characters in this chapter get very big W moments, if I have to say so myself. Almost every single character in this chapter gets a big old W moment. But one character has continued to disappoint me beyond all odds. I know. But pencil, it's for the character development. But I'm not sure how long I can say it's for the character development. I'm not sure how long. I mean, I need to skip 5 years into the future when the character development pays off, because I swear. But let's not waste any more time, and let's hop right into it. Editing me. Ready. 3, 2, 1, go. What's up, guys? Look at the pencil here. Fun fact. I have it on me, and I keep it on me at all times. And another fun fact. Tristan did not, in fact, have it on him. Actually, you know what? Ironically enough, he did. You know what? I'll even say this. Tristan had it on him like this. He was double strapped up. He had 2 on him. And he still failed. But, of course, let's stop talking in vague niceties and let's actually hop right into chapter 121. It's so crazy to me that we've been going on for 121 chapters, nearing, I think we're already darn near at 3 years of serialization, which feels so crazy. Because I still remember when Seven Deadly Sins ended, just now like 5 years ago. If not 6, the manga. I forget. When the manga's been over, the original manga's been over for a while now. Yeah, we're almost 3 years in a serialization of 4 nights. The anime's coming out soon. Whew, getting old. Older. But first things first, let's talk about this cover page. Number 1, Tristan. You wanna know why he's looking down? Because he knows his stocks are down after this chapter. And his stocks have been on a very consistent decline for a hot minute now. So thusly, he's looking down for good reason. For a character who's looking up, well, not really. They're looking parallel. It's the boy Nazi. You know Nazian's the GOAT. You know my boy, my son Nazian's. I feel so. He's got to go. I don't know. Y'all probably sick and tired of me saying it, but like, Nazian's is gonna get cooked. Like, there's absolutely no way we make it to chapter 556 of the series, which is the chapter it's gonna end on. And Nazian's is still alive, bro. There's just absolutely no way. He's cooked. Speaking of characters who are probably going to end up cooked, the Donners. Shouts to my boy. He looks oddly stoic in this cover page for as goofy a character as he is. But he's holding up Gawain. Poor Gawain. Like, no one has let her out of her chains yet. Someone help this woman. Then, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Kion. Like, what even is that face, bro? Like, I guess I don't regularly sneer at people. I don't know. This is my resting face, by the way. I don't know. That is the most annoyed I'll ever look. That's literally just because I'm like elevator music in the head. There's nothing going on up there. But Kion, he looks like the kind of guy that would actively sneer at people. And I'm not sure if that's sad or funny. But with that being the case, he's here, he's posted up, he's ready. And I'll admit, 2 WMVPs this chapter. They're down here ready to cook. You see, Iso even got the pinky up because she's that ready to cook. But let's not waste any more time. Let's hop right into the chapter itself. So we open up and we do get to see that what do you call it? I forget this fusion beast name. I'm about to call it something from an entirely different series, because there's another series that just had a recent fusion beast, but I completely forget this one's name because it's so irrelevant and it will not matter after like 10 chapters. I promise you, we will never, after these characters get beat, I highly doubt we will ever see them again for like multiple reasons. Like, obviously the big reason that we're going to Camelot, and like, they ain't allowed up in there. Unless they manage to break down the anti-other races barrier that's around Camelot, they ain't making it in there. But we do get to see that they lunge in with which is absolutely hilarious to me, because it's still this head that's doing the roaring. Like, dog, you have like a tiger mouth, like literally in your chest. It's right next to your lungs, presumably. Like, why don't you have it do the screaming? I mean, I get it. Like, this is the main head, and like it'd be weird if you like saw me screaming from here. But like, Nakaba, you've done Squadron. You've shown us characters yelling from their chest before. Why don't you have it this one? I mean, I guess this is like a faux head, like a faux face, like it's not actually real. But like, dog, I don't know. This looks so goofy, especially considering it's roaring and the tiger head is just like. But with that being the case, we see Tristan being so okay. Tristan fans, if there are any of you left, because after this chapter, I'll admit, probably with jump shit, because y'all been going through it. Tristan fans, someone please tell me, how many times is it gonna have to happen? How many times is it gonna have to happen? Why does your man keep running up at people in base? In base! This has never worked. Literally, the only time it came close to working was against Despair Percy, and he still had to transform afterwards. He didn't beat Despair Percy in base. So tell me why your man keeps running at people in base. In base, bro. Is he just dumb? Like, I hate to say, I hate to chalk it up to him just being stupid, but he's not Mel. He just isn't. Like, Mel could run at people in base because base Mel was a monster, a beast, a demon. But, like, there's been nothing in the entire series that has ever suggested that base Tristan is like that. There's been nothing. Like, Mel has had numerous fights where he's dominated people in base. He's literally ended some fights in Demon Mark just because it would look cool. Like, once beating Darriere, dominating them in base. He did not have to turn on Demon Mark for a full counter of all things. Heck, Squadron could have beat him in base, but he turned on Demon Mark just to extra flex on him. Pretty much all the first season, he was smacking up people in base. The only times he ever went into Demon Mark was for like short periods, and even then, he never really beat anyone at it because he didn't need it. And when he did, he didn't use it. But like, Tristan, you've been in the narrative for over 70 chapters now. I know you got introduced around chapter 50. Dog, this has never worked. Stop it. Stop it. Like, I actually want a justification. For the Tristan fans out there, explain why he doesn't charge in. And at bare minimum, goddess eyes. Why doesn't he open with that? Especially because you got to remember the context that he's about to lunge in and fight this thing with. This is Schwartz plus 5 other demons. Now, of course, the other demons are feetless fodder. We have no idea about any of them, or any of their abilities, or anything like that. But he lost in a stronger form than base, in one of his hybrid forms, which is presumably one of his stronger forms. He lost to Schwartz alone. So tell me why your man's, in all of his infinite wisdom, decides to lunge at the fusion of Schwartz plus 5 other demons in base. Why? He's got to be dumb. Like here's the thing, right? I can smell the coping. I can hear it. I can taste it darn near. Well, Pencil, you gotta understand. It's all for the character development. But like, what is it? Because we know he's comfortable with Goddess Eye. Goddess Eye is never actually like shown him fatigued or losing control or anything like that. And he's literally fighting demons. Like, he's straight up boxing demons. And once again, he's seen that demons can eat arcs from his goddess state. A single one of these demons alone was able to consume one of his arcs. So why is he not in Goddess Eye? Your man's just gotta be stupid. Like, there's just no way. There's no way. And it is gonna go exactly how you think it's gonna go. I wish I was, like, building to a flip. Like, sometimes I'll do that. Sometimes, since I know what's gonna happen in some of these reviews, I'll build up this one specific direction, filter your mind in one way, even though you've already read the chapter 2, and I will flip it and be like, wow, actually, in reality, this thing ended up happening. I'm not building towards no flip. I'm building towards the truth. Watch this. Tristan comes in and says, stop! You're caught under its thrall. Word of the day. Thrall. I'll make sure I don't mistakenly define it. I've done that before. I've done like word of the days and then revealed that absolutely not. That was not, in fact, what that word meant. But word of the day, and that guy with the pencil, thrall. It is a 6-letter word. I'm sorry. My brain. I was fighting the urge to say 5 so badly. It is a 6-letter word. Wait. Are you there? Oh no, you're not there. Where are my glasses? I have no idea where they are. I do not wear my glasses that often, despite my avatar always wearing them. But thrall. The state of being in someone's power or having great power over someone. Thrall. So there's your word of the day. Working into your regular sentences. I have no idea where you would pull thrall out in regular day-to-day speak, but Tristan lunges in. He says you're caught under its thrall, using the big words. I know it's 6 letters, but hey, 5 letters is a big word to me. And we see they start going blow for blow, bar for bar. Tristan's running in with both things on him. Like I said, he got Esterosa and Mael pulled out, and he starts a tinka 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 tinka. Not in the other way, but he's clashing, and we see, obviously, considering this is a hybrid beast of 6, presumably mid to high level demons, he's easily being dealt with despite wielding 2 whole swords. And then naturally, considering this thing does not feel like being disrespected, okay, we'll give it a second, because this is even deeper level to this sheer idiocy on Tristan. Tristan says, don't lose to the Chaos Staff. Don't you have any pride as part of the demon clan? Now, here's the thing. Coming from pretty much every other demon we have seen in the entire series, I would expect them to say this. Like, being real. From demons like Peronia, Chandler, Cusack, Zeldris, heck, even Mel. All other even the random red demons and gray demons that we see speak. Even Big Papa Dolcemonte, who's probably like a solid 5 years old in demon years. I would expect all of them to drop this bar when fighting a possessed demon. But Tristan, of all the people to say, don't you have any pride as part of the demon clan? Like, it's so contradictory to his character that even he gets caught off guard. Like, once again, I get it. It's for the long-term development. Like, obviously, Tristan's journey is one of self-acceptance. That is literally, like, I can see it. From the moment he was conceived, at the end of Seven Deadly Sins, I knew if we were ever going to get a sequel series, and we were ever going to tackle the implications of Tristan, it was going to be a story about self-acceptance. I know, I get it. So, thusly, him having some sort of pride in the demon clan, a part of his heritage, despite him not actually liking the fact that he's a demon, yeah, it's good for the character. But the fact that in the midst of a fight, where he's not even using his demonic powers or even his goddess powers, the fact that he brings this up, and then has the nerve in the midst of a battle to pause and have a flashback to Schwartz of all characters saying, I see, you have no self-respect whatsoever, neither as a goddess nor a demon clan member. And then bro immediately gets whacked. He doesn't even have the good decency to get smacked or whacked. Bro gets thwacked. Am I fighting Hero in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and just got down special to Oblivion? Did I just get thwacked? Is that what happened? Dog. And here's the thing, right? It was probably with the sword, considering the sword is in the right hand. But I wouldn't even be shocked if he literally got punched into the pillar. And I wonder why. Maybe because he ran up on a fused hybrid Chaos Demon in base. Mind-blowing. After he lost to this same demon alone in a hybrid form. Running from base was a good idea. And pausing in the middle of the fight to have a little identity crisis was a good idea. I'm sorry, I can't defend him anymore. I can't defend... Like, I believe I ranked him 3rd in terms of my favorite knights from the series. I say this, like, with absolute sadness in my heart. He may have dropped. He may have, like, genuinely dropped down to the... And the reason I say that, right? Okay, maybe not, because Gawain still hasn't gotten enough. But here's the thing, right? Gawain has gotten less screen time and less overall importance and is admittedly less interesting to me as a follow-up to previous characters. I love Escanor. You can make a solid argument, and by you, I mean me. I can make a pretty solid argument, or maybe, depending on the day, I may even tell you that Escanor is my favorite character in the entire Seven Deadly Sins duology. I love him. But Gawain isn't actually his kid, as far as we know. Maybe he's like a clone, hybrid, weird kiddo. But, or she, whatever. But I didn't even like Merlin at all. And obviously Gawain is the surrogate Escanor Merlin kid. But at least when Gawain disappointed me, it was like once. A very big disappointment, don't get me wrong. Her breaking down and crying against Belgard after talking all that smack is unfortunate. And obviously her being thirstier than a man who spent 30 years in the Sahara Desert. Like, I get that too. But Tristan, like, I'll admit, half of it is just straight his legacy, right? Like, this isn't some random dude. This isn't your average guy. This is the child of the strongest demon and the strongest goddess to ever exist. From the I'm not sure if it's award-winning, from the very popular manga known as Seminole Sin. So obviously I have expectations for Tristan on that front. But also, like, I know he can do better. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen Demon Mark Tristan. I've seen the exaggerated swagger of a Nephilim teen. I've seen it! The fact that we aren't getting it. And it's always the same thing, too. Like, here's the thing. I'd be more comfortable with how Nakaba writes Tristan if Tristan would stop running at things in base. If he would run at things and just generally get smacked in hybrid forms, or generally get smacked in goddess form, which admittedly happens sometimes still. If that were happening more consistently, then I think I'd lean with a rock with it more. But it's just that he keeps making the same mistakes over and over again. And I know, the actual definition of insanity is not how that phrase goes. Like, we always say the definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. That's not actually the definition of insanity. Let me double check. Maybe it is. Insanity. I know some things got, like, retroactively made canon in the dictionary multiverse. But insanity, the state of being seriously mentally ill, madness, extreme foolishness, or irrationality. Okay, maybe Tristan is just insane. Because, like, he is doing something extremely foolish and irrational almost every single time he lures in the battle. And guess what? We do not see Tristan fight after this page. That's it. This is it for the rest of the chapter. We have a bunch of W moments later on this chapter, but here, this is the final showing that Tristan gets for the rest of this chapter. Oh yeah, it's that bad. It is that bad. That's crazy. But of course, let me stop bullying Tristan. Nakaba does that enough. We do get to see that the big old hybrid demon beast is like, all right. Let me get a ball in them nuts. But, of course, considering the mightiest meat munchers this side of the Mississippi, Kion will not let that slide. And he activates Ground the Grabber. Love the alliteration. And I'll admit, this little earth dude, I don't know what he built like, but the fact that he's actually, with these earth hands, is able to grab and force this demon, this hybrid chaos demon, to actually, like, fall to the ground, very, very impressive. Like, I get it's like a leverage thing, like, obviously it's gonna be hard, but, like, if this hybrid demon was just strong enough, the ground grabber wouldn't even stop it. It would just keep moving forward. But, like, it would on some AOT type beat. But no, ground grabber is actually enough to force it to bow, as Kion says, bow down. And it actually works. Shout out to my boy Kion, already proving more competent than his own prince. You know how much that hurts me to say? If you asked me 4 years ago who I thought would be the most competent of the Tristan platoon, if I even knew the Tristan platoon was a thing at that point, because I'll admit I would have done that. But if you had to ask me who was more competent, Tristan or one of his retainers, that happens to be Gil Thunder and Margaret's son, and you look me dead in the eyes and ask me who I thought would be more competent by the time of chapter 120 of the sequel series, I would have looked you dead in the eyes and said Tristan. Why wouldn't he be? We're on chapter 121. Tristan is less competent than his subordinates. How much that hurts me to say? You know how deep of a pain that causes me? But there's nothing I can do about it because it's true. And it seems like it will remain true until time collapses. Obviously not. I know he's going to have character development, but 121 chapters deep, bro. You can't keep getting done like this. But we do get to see that the demon hybrid does in fact end up thumping. Thumpity, thump, thump, thumpity, thump, thump. But it does end up thumping on the ground. And We see that Isolde wastes absolutely no time. I guess she just hopped on its back almost instantaneously because she says, "No mercy for Prince Tristan's enemy, no matter what." And that's essentially Isolde telling you, demon lives do not matter. I couldn't care less about those filthy creatures. And proceeds to smack the back of the demon hybrid. Now, I want you to remember, this same Isolde, when seeing Tristan get hurt and put in danger, managed to chunk Melagallon's tail, presumably without even her magic. She just swung hard enough to chunk Melagallon's tail. And remember, both Chaos Gallon and Chaos Belaskia claimed that they were stronger than their original counterparts. They had surpassed their original commandment selves. Gallon even said he was non-indestructible. And remember that for what's going to happen here. So Isolde, this fused commandment level threat, swings on the demon beast. And of course, as anybody would, if you felt some sort of slightly larger insect casually swinging and scratching at the back of your head through your thick, luscious locks, you would probably also be concerned and go to swat at it. But Isolde, about the business, says, "Barrel roll," and just hops right on off. And then the flashes go off. And she drops one of the coldest bars in the entire series. Yo, I'll admit, everyone in this chapter except for Tristan was actually cooking with gas, bro. Because can you imagine? Look at this. Look at what position the demon's in. The demon hybrid. It's already 10 fingers down the ground, 10 toes down the ground. And she says in the squat, "Pray for your own sake." And boom! Combined strike, devout prayer. And look at that. The demon's head is buried into the ground. Like it's prostrating itself to Isolde, bro. Look, that's so metal, dog. And I get it. It's a combo strike. It's a combo strike between Kion and Isolde. But Isolde had the bar. And her magic is what caused the burying straight into the ground. That's metal. I'm sorry. Like, Nakaba, he's being a lot more equitable, and I'll admit I do like that. One of my biggest complaints about the original series, especially pretty much after the opening arc, is that if your name wasn't Meliodas, you were kind of irrelevant. Like, and not fully. Like, there were characters like Bond who had moments to shine after getting their purgatory amps. Obviously, Escanor was a character who was pretty much consistent. So there's the thing: if your name wasn't Meliodas or Escanor, and Merlin depending on the time, and King depending on the time, and then Bond super late into the series, if you weren't a titular character, basically, you were pretty much worthless. Like no lie, you were kind of bleeding. And with that being the case, I like that we're 121 chapters deep, but the human fodder is still relevant. Like, we lost one of them. He did get cooked. I still can't believe Jade's gone, bro. Raptors don't like him. Jade's gone. I feel the pain. The pain just welled back up in my chest. But characters like Isolde and Kion are still useful against these fused demon level threats. That's very, very impressive. Once again, that is better scaling. Like, you can make the solid argument they're stronger than Hauser is right now. Because I think Nakaba said that Hauser got about as strong as Matrona was in the original series. And don't get me wrong, Matrona was powerful. But, like, she wasn't even Gallon level. Like, Gallon nearly offed her while he still had, like, no magic. Fresh out the coffin of eternal darkness. But here you have Isolde blowing this demon into the ground, chunking out Melagallon's tail. Like, this is arguably above Hauser levels of scaling. 4 Knights Hauser levels of scaling. Like, the gang is pulling their weight. I'll give them credit. For a group I did not ever expect to be able to pull their weight against the monsters, the beasts, the demons that they'd be running into. The literal demons in this case. They're keeping up. Shouts to them. Shouts to Nakaba. This is definitely a testament to Nakaba feeling more generous and more equitable than he did in the original series. And I do like that, especially considering this is a series that's going to be going on for a while and the characters are starting out at much lower points, except for Lancelot. I like that they're getting these moments to shine consistently throughout this early part of the series. I do think ultimately, unless Nakaba really feels like power creeping them, I think ultimately probably around mid-series and definitely by late series, the human cast, if they're not gone, they're definitely going to get power cramped. I think the ceiling is going to hit. But compared to Nakaba for not letting it hit so soon. The ceiling hit for the Holy Knights at the end of Season 1. They were barely relevant even at the end of Season 1. Started Season 2, they were worthless. So I'm happy they're getting the amps. But we do get to see that the Donners is like, wow, nice, great work, good move. Meanwhile, Gawain is just dangling upside down. I get it. She's wearing magic cuffs. But, like, y'all, do you think it would be helpful to have another knight on the field? Like, just one of them, like, especially since you lost Percy and Lancelot, like, I get it. Y'all are confident in your own abilities. You just had a week-long training arc in the case of the Percy platoon, and maybe even Kion and Isolde did some training too. But, like, dog, you may want to free, not your white mage. Your white mage is buried in a rock, but you may want to free one of your dark mages so they can come in and help out at least a little bit. But we see that Nonsense admits they work so well as a team, don't they? Which is nice. That is true. Admittedly, as good as our crew is with synchronicity on, like, general combat fronts, like Donnie, Nonsense, and Percy can all fight together with relatively little issue. They don't really have many fusion attacks. And of course, you can definitely argue because their magics don't necessarily, like, mix well for fusion attacks, but arguably you could make the case that they could. Like, Donnie and Nonsense create some pretty interesting combos, like a swing of a person into one of Nonsense poison slashes to set them up, or pulling them into poison gas, or even pulling poison gas over to the opponent. Like, Nonsense and Donnie could have some pretty cool mix-ups, some pretty cool setups. And it's hard to set up just in general. Like, unless Nonsense could make, like, an anti-truth serum, make, like, a lying gas, it's hard for either Donnie or Anne to really facilitate, or no, Donnie or Nonsense to really facilitate for Anne, but it's possible. You can make it work, and I do like that Nakaba is still utilizing the team attack mechanic. That is something that is, I'll admit, a tiny bit underused in Seven Deadly Sins for how many potential combinations we could have had, but even the ones in Seven Deadly Sins I really, really like. So I hope this is a trend that continues, where we keep getting more and more combined strikes as the characters get to know each other better, as their magic develops. I would really appreciate that. However, we do get to see that kind is like, Isolde, please, hurry up and go rescue the prince. Can you imagine? You are the child of the strongest creatures to like, Elizabeth maybe not, but like Meliodas, one of the strongest creatures to ever exist within your series, and me to be saved by Kion and Isolde, bro. Oh, I get it. Both Kion and Isolde are decently strong. Not even decently. I'd say they're very, very strong. But why Tristan? Why you have to disappoint me so? Like, my hopes are still high, right? Like, as negative and non-supportive as I'm being right now, I still definitely have hopes for Tristan, but they're plummeting by the day, bro. They're plummeting by the day. However, we do get to see, before Isolde can do anything of the sort of rescuing Prince Tristan, a thunk, if you will, sinks directly into her upper pectoral and instantly drops her. This feels weird. The chapter doesn't necessarily address it, and something later in the chapter has me confused. Maybe you could argue it comes from Kion's training under a certain someone, but we see, despite being pierced in what seems to be a non-vital area, like, here's where, at least from my perspective, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I know I do actually have some, like, doctors and nurses and even veterinarians in the comments, so, like, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on this. But, like, I don't think there are any vital organs here, right? Like, I'm pretty sure this is about where she got. Like, right here is just parallel to where her shoulder seems to meet her trap. So, like, right here is about where she got. But I don't think there's anything important there, right? I'm not sure if there's an artery there. I don't know my arteries that well. But unless there's an artery there, I feel like she shouldn't have dropped from this. Like, your heart's way lower down here beneath your pectoral, and your lungs are hidden behind your ribcage. So maybe, like, her lungs were pierced, but from all the way up here, it seems like a really weird angle for her to immediately drop from. So I'm going to make the big ol' assumption that it was a poison-tipped arrow or something like that, because otherwise I don't know why she drops like this. She's literally taken worse. Like, literally just taking words. But we do get to see she drops. And we see that Kion is like, oh, Isolde! Why did that come from above? Who could be shooting at us? I don't know, Kion. Did you see the one holy knight with the big bow? Like, dog. Well, not a big bow, but come on, Kion. We see Kion gets got next. Thunk sinks right into his gut. And he goes, oh, oh, oh. He rearranged my guts. He rearranged my guts. And we see that the Donners, you know, being the best boy that he is like, Kion! And we see that one of the Chaos Knights is like, good. Hitting home every time. And he apparently uses Magic Snipe, Death Angle Shot. So it seems in a similar vein to Snipe's quirk. Ironically enough, because there is a Magic Snipe from My Hero Academia. What Snipe can do is he can just fire in your general direction, lock onto you, quote unquote, and the projectiles will automatically lock onto you and pierce you at a completely random spot. And I have to assume it's the same thing here with what's his name's ability. I'm sorry, I don't remember any of the knights' names, and they are all not important enough to the main narrative to have me look them up. So still got a luck on that front. But with that being the case, this Magic Snipe reminds me of Snipe, except Snipe seems to hit completely random, which seems to be the same case here, except this part does seem to be lethal. Once again, ISO drop from one arrowhead, and Kion takes one to the gut, and is pretty much removed from the fight after this. We don't even see him desummon his Earth Golem, I don't think, but maybe we do. Because Nakaba likes to sneak in a bunch of little details in the background that I may just miss. But with that being the case, we see that as the archer guy's like, yeah, baby, yeah, who's Himothy? I'm Himothy, you know what I'm talking about, And we see that Donnie's like, I don't know what you're talking about, because he says, if that's how you're going to play it, then you're going down. So you mean to tell me, Donnie boy, if they played it in another way, they wouldn't be going down? Nah, I'm kidding. But we do get to see that the Donner shows not an evolution. We see him do it when he's carrying Escanor and the goat Sylvan down, which someone did point out. Sylvan's kind of just been missing for a couple chapters. Either he's off-souling Arthur himself, using the true power of chaos that he hid from the true... I can't think of any reason. But let's just say, hypothetically, Sylvan is fighting chaos in Cat, or Nakaba forgot about him. I'm not exactly sure which is more likely. Maybe, what can I can assume that maybe Gojo... Whoa! Completely wrong here. I can assume that maybe the group, Tristan and them, left their horses behind. But then again, we saw Sylvan in the Albion, so I have no idea. I have no idea where Escanor and Sylvan are. But with that being the case, we see that the Donner shows off an ability when he was carrying Escanor and Sylvan down. He holds Gawain in one hand, keeping his magic steady on her, but then he actually starts whipping the wrist in the other hand to pick up somebody else, pick up Magic Snipe. And he says, if that's how you want to play it, then you're going down. And we see he hits the archer guy with the exact same spin cycle he hit Dornock with before throwing him far away. And we see that due to the fact that he beat one knight, the other knights are like, whoa. We are not about to let this slide, and runs in and says, don't mess with us, little boy. Which is a tad confused. Like, can someone just give me a consensus? Is 16 the age of adulthood or not in this world? Is it? Is it really? Because I don't know. Why should you call him a little boy? Maybe it's just mocking and descending and I'm looking too hard into it. Wouldn't be the first time I look too hard into anything on an anime or manga, but like, seems... What's that? Scrumptious. Smells fishy. But with that being the case, she says, don't mess with us, little boy. On God! And hits him with a dead rain. And we see the Donners is actually pretty impressive. Like, obviously, this woman is absolutely featless, and we have no idea where she scales or anything like that. But the fact that the Donners is able to pretty casually keep up and dodge most of her strikes is pretty impressive. Especially considering how many strikes are coming from Dead Rain. The fact that Donnie can dodge all of them, really a testament to his overall skill. However, we do get to see that he does get a little bit of a... but it doesn't play into effect immediately, as the blade is blocked. And I'll propose this question that I propose to the patrons, which you can become for as low as $1 a month, or remember for as low as $3 a month, in the description down below, in order to get things like exclusive content, early videos such as this one, and more. You can just become a patron or a member. But as I asked there, I'll ask this here. Can someone explain to me the point of a bending blade? Like, look at this. Look at this. Isolde's hand, not Isolde. Anne's hand is like this, and then her blade is bent by the weight of, I don't know, Jail Girl. So I don't get how that's 100% effective. Maybe the flexibility and like the mix-up you can do by swinging it around a whole bunch, but I'm not sure. But you get to see that Donnie's like, "Oh, Anne, you saved my..." And he's turned to stone. No, not the daughters. Please, anyone but the daughters. No, no. Oh, not my boy, the daughters. They got him. The petrification police, they got him. I need a minute. They got my boy, dog. They got him. They got my boy. I'm gonna miss him so much. But obviously, you know, there's a reason this caught my attention so much. There are only... Is there only one in this series in particular? I think there's only one other petrification user in this entire series. And that's King. Weird, right? Does anyone else find that strange? Like, does this woman have connections to the forest? Is she like Merlin, the fake Merlin was? Is she like a fairy in the sky or something? That's an oddly specific ability for her to have. Like, don't get me wrong. I understand one of the biggest appeals of the human race is that I think they're the only other species other than the demons to all be born with their own unique innate magic. So it could be entirely possible that this is just her innate magic. But it seems interesting that this is so similar to Chastieful, right? Like, it is literally the exact same thing. One tiny slice, and suddenly your whole body is petrified. That's the exact same thing that happened to that one guy way back in the Metal Beast arc when they were looking for Gother. So, like, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy that she just has this ability on deck and ready. And once again, it does have me hoping for spoilers. Skip 45 seconds ahead in the video if you do not want spoilers for the Bleach manga. I am hoping from the bottom of my heart that it ends up working like the Almighty and Yuha himself, where every single time a ally of his gets got, their powers return back to Arthur, whether it be through their Chaos Staff or something. Their powers return back to him and he can use them later. Mainly because I want to see Ardbeg do stuff again. I want to see even Teniac do stuff again. Big Papa McDuff, you know, I want to see his fighting style again. So, like, there are a bunch of characters who Arthur could hypothetically embody if his ability worked like that, but it's a strange occurrence at the very least. And we see that she explains petrification, and Anne is like, "Oh, well, in that case, as long as you don't hit me, I'm fine. Am I wrong?" Yo! Me personally, I am not going to allow myself to get clowned on by a 16-year-old girl that's half my size. That's just me, though. That is 100 million, billion, trillion, octillion% me. But me personally, I would not take that level of disrespect. But we do get to see that Anne is not just talking the talk, she's also going to walk the walk. Because Nassim says, "Huh, what a silly stance. Here, I'll undo this." I don't know how. I don't know how he's going to do it, though. Like, how is he going to unpetrify Donnie? Like, what mystical... Like, is Better pull Mayuri from Bleach? Is he going to reach into his back pocket and pull out the mystical magical anti-stoning serum? Like, why does he have... He doesn't say, "Oh, what a silly stance. Hold still." Well, I guess you don't have to. I'll make an antidote. No, he says, "Here, I'll undo this." Like, he has the natural ability to. And I guess... maybe... I don't know. I don't think so. But we do get to see that he is forced to dodge a kunai So we are referencing everything here tonight as all the kunai start swinging and swinging and swinging. And we see that the bird-headed mask from before says, not going to happen. And we see that the bird ends up saying nothing, because they immediately leap into a different conflict back between Anne and, once again, I have no idea who these characters' names are. The other girl character. And admittedly, Anne is going kind of crazy. Once again, she's meeting this woman on every single turn, and then even manages to kind of sort of take the 3v1. Like, look at this. She's fighting against this one. Then this guy comes in. And then she's also hypothetical. I mean, maybe not. I don't think so. It may just be a 2-on-1. But we do get to see that as the big Tarmiel knockoff swings, she leaps and dodges. And she lands on a pillar. And she proceeds to say, I am Anne Galahad of Team Percival. I won't let Camelot's annoying minions get the best of me. And we see that, unfortunately, one of them pulled up and was like, are you sure about that? Are you sure? Would you like to bet your life on that? Are you sure about that? And we see that she was not, in fact, sure about that. Because from the shadows, Rosebank appears, grabs Anne by the back of her own wrist, and is like, we'll be the winners here. And Team Percival's fated to disband today. Now, I'm sorry, I know I'm looking way too deep into everything, but Team Percival's fated to disband today. Now, what does that mean? In the hypothetical future sense, that they're literally fated, like, oh, literally Gwen dreamed that they would lose, and thusly they would lose? Or is it in the, I can drop off the kid somewhere? I don't know. What the? Like, and disband the Percival. Fated to disband today. I don't know. Disband today. Fated. It's just that word. It's fated. I don't know. But with that being the case, we do get to see that Anne is like, huh? Since when were you behind me? And Rosebank explains, like all anime villains do for some reason, it's called mimicry. Nothing fancy, but it's useful in a pitched battle. I'd say it's more useful than just in a pitched battle. It's useful anywhere. The ability to just blend into your scenery, seemingly at will. Very, very solid ability. It's perfect for hiding, which is the main thing that Rosebank probably ends up doing. But still, we do get to see that Anne gets told, our purpose, our future, is to set up a world without destruction. In that way, in that sense, we can't let you have your way with us. And then we see Anne's like, I mean, you gotta tell me twice. And she says, I surrender then. And of course, this gets everyone off guard. Nasian's off guard, Kyan's off guard, I said Kyan's off guard twice. Isol's off guard, Kyan's off guard. But we see that Anne, being a big brain girl, says, but if I do, will at least one of you tell me where Percival was taken and how to get him back? And we see that for some reason, they all respond. Like, every last one of them. Like, why not just, I don't know, take her out and not on a date? Don't surprise her. Like literally, you have her in your grasp. And sure, she's not one of the 4 knights, so maybe you want to spare her because she's a powerful human. But like, I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit sloppy and a little bit convenient, but gotta give Anne her cool moment. And we see that she says, "Oh, is that so?" And suddenly all the knights end up dropping, because you know how it be when people be lying, it gets down and dirty. And speaking of down and dirty, we see them all going, ugh, what is this? Ugh, I'm being crushed. Wait, no, what did you do? And we see that Anne goes on to say, good question. Maybe it's your deity punishing you. Yo! The bars from Isolde and Anne this chapter are insane. Why are they barring so hard? That is wild. But we do get to see that Isolde is warned and to watch out. And so does Nonsense. But unfortunately, both are too slow. And yeah, Anne gets absolutely smacked up by the massive demon beast. And when... sounds so foolish. When Anne tries to get back up, she immediately falls and says, "Oh, I suppose there's a new rule to my magic. Rule 7, it won't work against things that speak or cannot speak. Oh, well, no. It can't work against things that can't speak language, or at least her language in particular. So she needs to become omnilingual so it can affect everybody." But we do get to see that, oh, this fusion demon's got me. No, I'm kidding. But this fusion demon is, in fact, double cheeked up on Tuesday afternoon. Shout outs to this point. Them glute workouts, them glute fusion workouts in that 5-second show or in the gym. Very, very good. Very, very good. But we do get to see that Prince Tristan is a really badly hurt. So stupid. And we see that Gawain, of all people, calls out to Tristan, is like, "Tristan, can't you hear the voice calling for you? If you don't step up here, who will? Dragon Fist!" No, I'm kidding. But we do get to see that Gawain is like, "Fine, I'll do it myself." And slides on the Infinity Gauntlet, but keeps on the Infinity Cuffs, as he says, "If I don't do this, who else is left?" Which is very nice. Very, 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 very nice. I'm very excited to see how they go. Though I will admit, I don't think we're going to see this fight for another, let's see, next week will be Nanashi versus Lance, most likely, then the main fight, then the fight after that. So ultimately, I think we are just going to have to sit on Tristan being the ultimate L taker for a little while. But hey, I will admit, it is still, in fact, quite the W chapter. I like the character work in the chapter as much as I do not like Tristan's character work. The one-liners are fire. The art is really, really good in this chapter. There seems to be literally no fumbles from Nakaba. So overall, this is a very, very good chapter. However, that's what I think. Please what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure the notification bell so you do not miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below where you can support as low as $1 a month. Get things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Some of those perks include the live reaction to this very chapter. Now, thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is, in fact, that guy with a pencil writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our $3 members, Recliner Plays and Red Wolf 4765. I'd like to give a very big thank you to our $5 patrons, Sean, Red Wolf 4765, Midnight Gemlord, Kevin, and Demex LND. And a very big thank you to our $10 patrons, Robbie Uchiha, Idemokami, and Calvin Elder. And to give another very big thank you to our $25 member, Alex Ice Rose. And a very big thank you to our $25 patron, Ignew.